Hey friends, it's Nikayla from the podcast Side Hustle Pro. I'm always looking for ways to keep my kids entertained without screens, and the Yoto Mini has been a total lifesaver. My kids are obsessed. Yoto is a screen-free audio player where kids just pop in a card and listen. Hours of stories, music, podcasts, and more, and no screens or ads. With hundreds of options for ages 0 to 12, it's the perfect gift they'll go back to again and again. Check it out at yotoplay.com. YOTOPLAY.com.
Hi, this is Knox from the podcast with Knox and Jamie. And maybe like us at the podcast, you also know people who have been smokers or vapors. And Zyn is the one product it seems like everyone is talking about. Because there are many good reasons to make a change to Zyn nicotine pouches. Reasons like Zyn nicotine pouches are still America's #1 choice for smoke-free, hands-free nicotine satisfaction. And you can choose between 10 varieties, each variety available in either 3 or 6 milligrams. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Are you noticing your car insurance rate creep up even without tickets or claims? You're not alone. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry handles the legwork by comparing quotes side by side from over 50 top insurers, so you can confidently hit buy. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Jerry even tracks rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Don't settle for higher rates. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/ACAST today.
Hey friends, it's Nikayla from the podcast Side Hustle Pro. I'm always looking for ways to keep my kids entertained without screens, and the Yoto Mini has been a total lifesaver. My kids are obsessed. Yoto is a screen-free audio player where kids just pop in a card and listen. Hours of stories, music, podcasts, and more, and no screens or ads. With hundreds of options for ages 0 to 12, it's the perfect gift they'll go back to again and again. Check it out at yotoplay.com. YOTOPLAY.com.
Hi, this is Knox from the podcast with Knox and Jamie. And maybe like us at the podcast, you also know people who have been smokers or vapors. And Zyn is the one product it seems like everyone is talking about. Because there are many good reasons to make a change to Zyn nicotine pouches. Reasons like Zyn nicotine pouches are still America's #1 choice for smoke-free, hands-free nicotine satisfaction. And you can choose between 10 varieties, each variety available in either 3 or 6 milligrams. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Hello, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Toby.
And welcome to the Whispering Woods classic ghost tale. This episode is all about
Loftus Hall.
It is, in Ireland, your favourite place.
Aye.
And it's nice to have you on this episode because I had to record the first one, the first classic ghost story on my own, because I'd made these grand changes to the podcast and then didn't realise you weren't here.
Yeah.
So welcome. Welcome to your first ghost story, Toby.
Yeah.
I'll get straight into it. Oh, are you ready for the story?
Yes, I am.
Loftus Hall is a sprawling Georgian mansion on the windswept Hook Peninsula of County Wexford, Ireland. For centuries, locals have said that this grand house was visited by the devil himself and is haunted by a restless female spirit. The property's isolated location and brooding presence only add to its spooky reputation as Ireland's most haunted house. Built in the 14th century and later remodelled in the 1870s, Loftus Hall has seen everything from Norman knights to English lords. It's the ghost stories and one legendary night of terror that truly define it. The most famous tale is set on a stormy night in 1775. According to folklore, a ship was driven into nearby Slade Harbour during a tempest, and a handsome stranger arrived at Loftus Hall seeking shelter. The Tottenham family, who occupied the hall at the time, welcomed him in from the raging storm. The mysterious guest charmed everyone, especially young Anne Tottenham, the landlord's daughter. As the storm lingered for days, the stranger stayed on, growing close to Anne. One evening, the family and their guests sat down to a game of cards by candlelight. All was well until Anne dropped one of her cards under the table. When she bent down to retrieve it, she was horrified to see that the charming stranger had cloven hooves instead of human feet. Anne screamed, exposing the visitor's demonic nature. At that moment, the man allegedly burst upward in a ball of fire, crashing through the ceiling and vanishing into the night sky. He left behind a gaping hole in the roof that, as legend has it, could never be properly repaired thereafter. The devil had revealed himself at Loftus Hall, and the house would never be the same. In the wake of this infernal encounter, Anne Tottenham was said to have lost her wits. Traumatised and heartbroken, some versions say she had fallen in love with the stranger and became withdrawn and mentally unstable. Ashamed of her condition, the family locked her away in the tapestry room, the very room where she had spent time with the mysterious guest. Anne languished there, staring out the window and refusing food, until she died in 1775. Later, during an 1870s renovation of Loftus Hall, workers reportedly discovered a skeletal remains of an infant hidden inside the walls of that room. This gave rise to a theory that Anne may have borne a child out of wedlock, perhaps fathered by the stranger, and that the devil legend was concocted to cover up a more human scandal. Fearing that an evil presence still lurked after the devil's dramatic exit, the Loftus family reportedly sought help from the church. A Catholic priest, Father Thomas Broaders, was brought in to perform an exorcism on the house. According to local law, Father Broaders succeeded in banishing the malevolent force, an achievement immortalised on his tombstone, which reads, "Who banished the devil from Loftus Hall." Yet even his blessings could not lay all spirits to rest. Anne's ghost was said to remain in Loftus Hall, and strange occurrences would continue to plague the mansion. Through the years, visitors and inhabitants have reported frightening paranormal phenomena in Loftus Hall. The apparition of a young woman, believed to be the restless spirit of Anne, has often been sighted wandering the halls or peering from the upper windows. Disembodied voices of children, unaccounted for cries, the pounding of invisible hooves, and sudden cold draughts have been experienced by those brave enough to enter. The Grand Oak Staircase is another hotspot. Some claim they've seen a spectral lady descending in silence. In more modern times, Loftus Hall's ghostly reputation was further cemented by a compelling piece of evidence. In 2014, a tourist named Thomas Beavis snapped a photograph during a tour that went viral for seemingly capturing not one, but two ghostly figures. In the photo, the translucent image of a young girl can be seen at the window, with the faint form of an older woman's face behind her. I got chills. The girl could be the spirit of Anne Tottenham, the stunned photographer recalled, after ruling out any logical explanation for the figures he saw in the window. This photo and other ghost sightings have made Loftus Hall a favoured destination for paranormal investigators. In the 2010s, the then owners, the Quigley family, capitalised on the legends by offering haunted tours and even overnight lockdown experiences inside the mansion. Few who spent a night in Loftus Hall emerge without an unsettling story of their own. One particularly spine-tingling encounter from the late 20th century shows that Loftus Hall's mysteries aren't confined to the 1700s. A woman, the mother of the author, recounted visiting Loftus Hall around the 1990s, before it was a formal tourist site. She, her boyfriend and a friend drove down the long gravel approach road one day and found the hall seemingly deserted. The trio got out to explore the exterior when they were unexpectedly greeted by a frail elderly woman, oddly overdressed in caked-on makeup and lipstick smeared past her lips. This strange hostess invited them inside the dark mansion. Uneasily, they followed her through dusty corridors into an old bar room, which still had a beer tap, though clearly non-functional. As they sat with her, conversation turned to the legends of the devil and the hoof-marked girl that they had come to scoff at. To their surprise, the old woman earnestly confirmed every legend, then offered to show them the famous room where the devil burst through the roof so long ago. The visitors started feeling increasingly unnerved in the shadowy, silent house, especially after one of them needed to use the restroom. The elderly guide gave an unnecessarily complex set of directions through a maze of unlit hallways. Left, then right, second left, another right, which only heightened the sense of dread. Not wanting to wander alone, the woman and her boyfriend ventured together, groping through narrow corridors by flashlight. In the darkness, they passed the grand staircase, and both later swore they felt invisible eyes watching them from above. Overcome with an urge to run, the group cut their visit short and hurriedly thanked the mysterious host, making excuses that they had to leave. As they turned to go, the makeup-caked woman said cryptically, "It's a pity you didn't get to see any of the guests." The blood of the three visitors ran cold. Guests? They had seen and heard absolutely no one else in the house, noted no cars outside, and smelled no food or signs of hospitality. Who then were these guests, unseen by outsiders? Thoroughly spooked, the trio rushed out to their car and began speeding back down the long drive. Glancing back, the woman in the rear seat looked up at Loftus Hall's windows and screamed. In almost every window of the second and third floor, she saw figures standing and watching them leave. Dozens of faces peering out from the empty house. There was no logical way any living people could have been up there, not without their knowledge. This terrifying experience left the witnesses shaken and with more questions than answers. If actual human beings had somehow been upstairs, the visitors would have heard or seen them. The only entrance was through the front door, which the group occupied, and it was midday. It's unlikely anyone snuck in. This raises the possibility that the figures in the windows were apparitions rather than flesh and blood people. If there truly were multiple guests in the house, it's bizarre that they stayed completely out of sight. The elderly hostess mentioned guests, yet none ever emerged. In a supernatural scenario, one might speculate these guests were residual spirits bound to the upper floors, merely observing the living intruders. If they were people, their avoidance defies normal behaviour, adding to the uncanny atmosphere. And the old woman who let them in. Her identity remains a puzzle. The visitors later tried researching if a caretaker or resident fit her description, but found nothing. One theory is that during the late 1980s to 90s, when Loftus Hall briefly operated as a hotel, she could have been one of the owners, Kay or Michael Devereux, or a staff member trying to host guests despite the business's decline. But the dishevelled, eccentric appearance and intimate knowledge of the legends also invites speculation that she might not have been a normal person at all, possibly a spirit of Loftus Hall in disguise, or a local with an unstable mind. Was the woman mentally ill and merely imagining the other guests? It's possible the lady lived alone in that big abandoned house and hallucinated the presence of guests to combat her solitude. Her invitation to the visitors and insistence on the legends might have been part of a delusional narrative she believed. This could explain the lack of real guests. They existed only in her mind. If so, it's chilling to think the visitors walked into not a ghost story, but a living person's disturbing fantasy. Human perception can be unreliable under stress, especially in a notorious haunted house. Perhaps the adrenaline and suggestion of the moment caused her to see faces that weren't there. But the witness vehemently maintains that she clearly saw distinct figures, and even noted that the windows looked different upon departure, occupied by shapes, than when they arrived, empty. The consistency makes it less likely to be a simple trick of the light or imagination. And what became of the elderly lady afterwards? This question haunts the storyteller, who could never find any information on the eccentric hostess after the fact. If she was a real person, such as an owner or squatter. You can't help but wonder what drove her to such bizarre behaviour, and what happened to her after Loftus Hall was sold in 2011. On the other hand, if one leans toward a paranormal explanation, perhaps the woman herself was an apparition, a guardian spirit of Loftus Hall, who vanished once her role was done. To this day, the lack of any record of her identity keeps this question wide open. The story of Loftus Hall begins long ago. The site was originally occupied by a castle built circa 1170 by Raymond le Gros, later Redmond. upon which a new hall was erected around 1350 during the Black Death period. Over the centuries, the estate passed through different families, eventually becoming the home of the Loftus family by the 17th century. In the 19th century, major renovations under John Henry Wellington Graham Loftus, 4th Marquis of Ely, transformed the hall into the mansion seen today. Grand staircase, ornate interiors, the kind of opulence that almost invited the uncanny. The house's remote location on the windswept peninsula, its proximity to the sea, storms and fog, all create the perfect ambience for a supernatural story. The hall's history of ownership reflects its shifting role from private residence to school/convent to hotel to haunted home. In 1917, it was purchased by the Sisters of Providence and converted into a convent and school for girls. 1983 became the Loftus Hall Hotel under Kay and Michael Devereux. 2011, purchased by Shane and Aidan Quidgley, who opened it again as a visitor attraction and paranormal destination. In 2021 to 22, it was sold again with development plans for luxury hotel or restoration. Loftus Hall stands as a place where architecture, legend and unknown converge. Its walls have absorbed centuries of human life, tragedy and fear. Whether the cloven-hoofed stranger was literally the devil or a metaphor for another horror, the result is the same: a mansion haunted by its own history and by the stories we tell.
Hey friends, it's Nikayla from the podcast Side Hustle Pro. I'm always looking for ways to keep my kids entertained without screens, and the Yoto Mini has been a total lifesaver. My kids are obsessed. Yoto is a screen-free audio player where kids just pop in a card and listen. Hours of stories, music, podcasts, and more, and no screens or ads. With hundreds of options for ages 0 to 12, it's the perfect gift they'll go back to again and again. Check it out at yotoplay.com. YOTOPLAY.com.
Hi, this is Knox from the podcast with Knox and Jamie. And maybe like us at the podcast, you also know people who have been smokers or vapors. And Zen is the one product it seems like everyone is talking about, because there are many good reasons to make a change to Zen nicotine pouches. Reasons like Zen nicotine pouches are still America's #1 choice for smoke-free, hands-free nicotine satisfaction. And you can choose between 10 varieties, each variety available in either 3 or 6 milligrams. Check out zen.com/find to find Zen at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
I am gutted for Alice. Because imagine this dashing stranger, or for you personally, it would be a beautiful young maiden, being shipwrecked on your shores. That bit reminds me a bit of Dracula. And it ends up being a devil. A demon.
Dance with the devil, mate.
Satan himself. The Satan himself. And he's like, and then he's gone. And I really do think that it sounds like, anyway, that what they unearthed or unwalled was a child. And it sounds like it was an illegitimate child. And perhaps it was, in all fairness, it could have been the Antichrist. Or perhaps she got pregnant and they just hid her away like they used to, which is just awful anyway.
Yeah.
Because, always the girl's fault, isn't it?
Yeah.
I could actually rant on and on and on about this, but I won't. I should save everybody from my venom.
Right, mate.
But I do really like this story. And there's another one that they play cards with the devil. I think it might have been the Hellfire Club. Speaking of which, it's nearly time. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call it Christmas. I'm going to call it end of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So I'm more excited about that.
Apparently they're making like a film or something, aren't they?
Oh, I don't know.
But it's like some crappy thingy.
No, I've seen some sort of stage show. Is
Yeah,
that what you
that
mean?
would be it,
That's
yeah.
probably it. It's just like a stage show. And actually, it does look quite good. Not your cup of tea, but I thought it looked all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed and we'll catch up with you again soon.
We will indeed. I'll catch you tomorrow for the Reddit episode. Take care, everyone.
Goodbye.
Hi, this is Knox from the podcast with Knox and Jamie. And maybe like us at the podcast, you also know people who have been smokers or vapors. And Zyn is the one product it seems like everyone is talking about, because there are many good reasons to make a change to Zyn nicotine pouches. Reasons like Zyn nicotine pouches are still America's #1 choice for smoke-free, hands-free nicotine satisfaction. And you can choose between 10 varieties, each variety available in either 3 or 6 milligrams. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Hey friends, it's Nikayla from the podcast Side Hustle Pro. I'm always looking for ways to keep my kids entertained without screens, and the Yoto Mini has been a total lifesaver. My kids are obsessed. Yoto is a screen-free audio player where kids just pop in a card and listen. Hours of stories, music, podcasts, and more, and no screens or ads. With hundreds of options for ages 0 to 12, it's the perfect gift they'll go back to again and again. Check it out at yotoplay.com. YOTOPLAY.com.
If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.